Connecting.
Yeah. Are we live?
Yeah, we should be. Audio quality up. Video quality up. I don't know, you haven't even lagged once today.
It's pretty fancy.
Pretty fancy.
I did upgrade my internet and do some tweaking. Hopefully it sticks around.
Do you have fiber?
No. I wish. That'd be nice.
What is your speed? Do you know?
I'd have to look at the...
Dude, Sam, what's up? How's it going?
Can you send me the link? Because I don't see any notification on YouTube.
Just refresh the page.
What page?
Refresh my channel page. I can't go because my main screen is full screen Discord and I have to minimize it and go through all the details, so I can't do that.
Yeah, sure. I'm going.
What's up, Shadow Tech? What's good, my dudes? We're just chilling, talking about 100 days of code tomorrow.
Hey guys.
And answering any questions that you have. Just gonna be like 30 minutes. 1 out of 100 done. You're making 100 websites or 1 out of 100 days? Oh, 1 out of 100 days. That'd be cool though. Well, I mean, if you did like a WordPress a day.
Or like something little like I'm a site
Captain
where
Splash.
I calculate Fahrenheit versus Celsius or something. I don't know.
What do you expect from a junior front end? You answer.
Me?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the needs of the company, but I want them to be passionate about making things work really well for users, ready to learn, know the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the basics of all three. Some familiar with our tech stack, but like just this much. They're a junior, so they should just like
what they can find on the internet.
Well, yeah, like just know enough that they clearly did some Google searching, that kind of thing.
Sam, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So Sam, 100 Days of Code starts tomorrow at 6 a.m. Tech Travis is gonna announce it, and basically there's no prize, there's no reward, right? This is just to grow as a software developer. So if you want to cheat and be like, I coded that day, like you're doing yourself a disservice. But if you want, there's nothing gonna happen. Like, yeah. People keep asking that. Oh, what if I cheat? Oh, I mean that's cool, dude. You do you.
It's just for your own thing.
It's just for a community thing.
The same ones. These are nice. I like these. I've had them for a couple years. So.
They look comfy. Are they Beats?
These are Skull Candy.
Oh, that's what you just said.
Like equivalent quality, even though they're cheaper. And yes, they're very comfy. And they block noise pretty well. How many hours should you code a day or 100 days of code? As much as you want. It's your challenge.
10 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah, isn't it what you set for yourself? I've never done the full 100 days, but I've done Advent of Code, which was you do like a month of coding per Advent. And they have a challenge every day.
30 minutes
to an hour? That sounds perfect. I agree, Ben. The ones that like go in your ears.
What happened? She disconnected. Alright, so small project ideas. To-do apps are good. Mainly like little tracker apps. Those are good. To-do apps. Calculator apps are also good. Maybe use something with GPS. That's fun. You disconnected for a little bit, but I got it.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Sorry.
I think I'm going to do like an hour, if I can. Maybe 30 minutes will be good, but I have to edit like one video a day, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just making excuses. We have one more question that we skipped over. Oh, how technical are the junior dev questions, you think? What have you been asked?
When I was a junior?
Mm-hmm.
Let me think, because it's been a while. Really, they want to know that I can think. And then so they'll ask basic questions about, like, what do you use for this kind of tag for HTML? What would you do if you someone clicks on a button and it behaves as if you're clicking twice or something like that? Things that are like, I'm familiar with the DOM because that was a junior web development. And Yeah, they would ask like general, how would you solve a problem, kind of really basic algorithm things. I'm trying to remember specifically. Josh, can you think of one that you were asked?
Well, that was like when React was like really fresh, so there weren't a whole lot of questions there because other people were still trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
Usually
that's
just
true.
algorithmic problems like I always say array flattener because that one was a hard one. Bubble sort, that was another one.
Yeah, things like that. Ray flatteners and
Fizzbuzz.
um, yeah,
Can you
fizzbuzz.
tell me about the CSS box model? Like I still get that. Like people still ask that
Yeah.
regardless.
Well,
Um,
because Flexbox was still brand new. I remember my first job, I had learned Flexbox, and the reigning CSS man on the team hadn't. And
hmm.
I showed him how easy it was to vertically align something, and I was like, "We need to use Flexbox, please." And he goes, "Ah, okay." And he learned it that
Hmm.
night. So, yeah, we're spoiled now in CSS land with Flexbox and Grid. Um,
So Hafiz
yeah,
at Hafiz Hamidi, I guess help desk and system admin jobs built a few Android apps. Is that enough to land a dev job? Maybe.
depends on the company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they want to, it depends on how willing the company is to give you a chance and disregard your main work experience. And, what did you make the Android apps with? Did you do it like native or with JavaScript or how did you make those? And what kind of dev jobs? There's like 9 million dev jobs.
yeah. Some of them, the fact that you've done system admin and help desk stuff, it means that you've been on the far reaches of the tech spectrum. You know, you've worked with the customer, but you've also done like deployment and sysadmin kind of challenges. Those are areas that are often undervalued or under. You don't get specialists in them on smaller dev teams, so um, you might be actually like in a better position on a smaller dev team, having had that wide variety of experience. Um, are HTML and CSS a good coding language to start with? They're not a coding language. They're markup. They don't think. Um, for something to be a coding language, it has to like think. But you can get great jobs with just HTML and CSS, but they're more design oriented. Um, wouldn't you agree, Josh?
Yeah, for the most part. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. We got. Do we miss out frequently on personal time? I don't. I make sure that's well. My personal time is still more work for me. It's just not working for my work. Um, but I don't know. I don't really miss it because I have fun doing what I'm doing. I guess you could get wrapped up in it if you let that job do. Like some jobs will just consume you if you let them. If you don't put that hard line in place before you get the job. Um, I
I'm
don't know.
laughing, and Josh is talking like that because he knows that I've taken jobs that took away all of my free time.
Because you're so dedicated. I refuse. I will quit before that consumes me. What else?
Um, yeah, yeah.
What websites?
It really depends on the job, I'm gonna say.
What
Um,
websites are you using to learn right now?
Me? Mm,
Stack Overflow.
yeah. At this point, I'm mostly spending my time reading the documentation of whatever um, challenges I'm looking at. I've got to do a database migration from using some old PHP. PHP doing database work in SQL is insane to me, but it's 20 years old, so I'm trying to work with that um, at work. In my own time, I do a lot of YouTube watching of things. I read a lot of documentation at this point. But for like hearing about something new, maybe I go on Twitter or that channel, Learn While You Poop. It's really fun. They're like 2-minute episodes. Um, Code Tech is a good channel.
Fun
Yeah.
function.
Fun Function is great. They're
Yeah.
great.
Go look at Fun function. He does like all the advanced stuff. Where I don't know much about Flatiron, New York, online. I've only seen it in like the course report reviews, but I'm not 100% sure about it. Um, let's see. Where have we traveled this summer? I have traveled to work and back, and that has been my summer. I would like to go learn to paraglide, but I need to save more.
I've done some like in the same state traveling. So, like I went to Rocky Mountain National Park, which is nearby. That was gorgeous. We'll be doing a little traveling this fall. But my dad is coming to visit in a couple weeks. So mostly people have come to visit us this summer. So not a lot of traveling around. Yeah. What are some good text editors? VS Code is good.
See?
It can be a little heavy for like a brand new person. I would go slimmer if you're brand new and do like a Sublime. Honestly, it helped me a lot not having my hand held too much.
It's not that much. It's not that overwhelming.
It's not that much, but you can get used to some features. Anyways, a lot of people like Atom. I know Josh has bashed it, but I know a lot of people like Atom, and it's worked well for them.
It's just so too many packages make it so slow, you know.
It does get slow. That's really why I don't use it. So why does no one like Vim? I use Vim if I need to do like merge conflict stuff, or if I'm editing like my hosts file, like anyways.
We got one.
A tiny thing. I'll use Vim, but why use it when you have nice editors like we have today?
Yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts that you could learn that make your stuff fast, but no thanks. I don't mind that much. So a lot of web development is about learning more actual functional code. How do you recommend learning about design or UI UX?
I don't know where you got that question. I'm looking at different ones.
Okay. Yeah. I don't use Docker.
So I am not a UX person. I've done some UX work because they needed me. So I've mostly learned kind of on the job. There are some great books by, let me grab one. This guy, Steve Krug, he makes a couple of them. Don't Make Me Think is kind of like the Bible for a lot of UX people. It came highly recommended to me. It's really good. So you can start there. Very straightforward approach to UX. How do you understand docs in context? Are we okay moving on? Josh, did you want to add anything to that?
It's hard to... I think you can learn about good design and good UX, but it's more difficult to learn how to generate the creativity for something brand new. Usually I just go to awards, look at some stuff there, or Ginny's the boss, like she would always go to Product Hunt and see how stuff was designed there. It's like the Reddit for new apps, and that's where she would pull a lot of inspiration. Luxury? Yeah. Go ahead. What luxuries can we obtain because we're at Web Devs? Well, I personally have a Lambo, and the house that I'm in is currently on the moon, so basically I'm Iron Man.
Don't forget that it's a rocket Lambo, okay?
Yeah.
You can fly.
Yep.
Yeah, I have 6 of them.
What's up, John Doe? Go ahead.
Yeah, how do you understand docs in context when you're completely new? That's difficult, James Roy. The reality is that docs are not written for new people. So what I suggest is only digesting the pieces you absolutely need, and then kind of coming back when you need more. Take them bit by bit when you're new. Or if you can't understand them at all, just try to read forum posts about what you need and word it in a way. A lot of what makes the docs difficult is they use terminology that they assume you're familiar with. So try to learn those terms too. So.
What are your thoughts? Wait, on an average day, how much code do I write? It depends, not that much. At least in my position, there's a lot of meetings that I have to deal with, or a lot of walkthroughs. In terms of code, I usually have a bug list, so a few hours a day. I'm using OBS for live. What are your thoughts on React.js in terms of employment, Katie?
Wait, can I talk about how much I code all day?
Yeah, so, you do.
Yeah, it depends on your job. There are some jobs where being like a lead means you're mostly reviewing code and architecting how we're going to solve problems, which I've done. And then there are other times where, being a lead like Josh means you're like in meetings making decisions all the time, and then sometimes you're a lead, like I in my new role where I'm just coding like 99% of the time. So,
Yeah, so she's like
yeah.
super dev. Let me back up. Thoughts on React.js employment opportunities? That's probably the most popular thing going on right now in web development, at least. You have Angular, but that's not nowhere. It's nowhere near as popular.
Same as Vue. I think Vue, we're
Yeah.
seeing more jobs growing, so we'll see more of them soon. But yeah.
What do you
Do
think
you
the?
use
Go ahead.
unit testing? Yeah, I use unit testing. I don't do test-driven development, which means writing the tests first and then writing the code, because we're converting a 20-year-old system to a new system. So it's like the beta PHP.
Mm.
Anyways, and some old C++ and everything. We're rewriting it in Node and React. But yeah, like the other day, I was, and I will publish it soon actually because it can be open source. I was writing some date conversion functions because there are like 7 different date function or formats that we support in our system, and all my unit tests expect blah to be blah. So that's what unit tests are usually like.
I answered Greg with chat. Let's see. Vue.js is easier to grasp. I don't know. What happens if you miss a coding deadline? Do I get coached? The CEO comes over. Well, okay, so this is the thing. You don't miss deadlines. If you know that you're going to miss the deadline, you go up to the person before that happens and you're like, look, I don't think that we can get this done because of XYZ reasons. And then, like, you never just go over. You always have to tell them ahead of time if you think that you're not going to make it. Because then if you go over, then I don't think you'll get coached. I think you'll just get canned.
I think it depends. Yeah. Most of the time, yeah, you tell people when you're approaching the deadline that you can't meet it. That's really the professional way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not that bad. I mean, obviously, it's better to, like, the CEOs and executives are going to set deadlines that are pretty tight because they want you to see if you can hit them and then, over deliver and then, be under budget and under the deadline and all that stuff. Let's see. Better to go balls to the wall on my personal website and count it as a project or do an extra project. Don't count
I would rather have your personal site be very simple and then have links, screenshots, GIFs of your other projects that lead to wherever they're hosted personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't count a really good portfolio website as a piece of like project of a portfolio. You can't use that as like the same thing. Where do I work? Salt Lake City. And
Yeah, I work remotely here in Colorado. The company's all over Colorado. But one of my team members is in Montana. So
Schmapanese. I think you should learn.
How much JS should you learn before starting other frameworks? How much? Build some simple algorithms and start learning libraries for what you need. So, it doesn't make sense if you're building, I built a Simon game, that old Simon game where you press the buttons and it like lights up and makes sound. It wouldn't make sense to build that in vanilla JS, I think, when we have jQuery for that. Django. Josh, what are you saying?
Huh? He said Django or Laravel. I said Django because Python you can do more with.
I prefer Laravel, honestly, over Django.
Because the Python you can do machine learning, you can do AI, you can do desktop apps. Like that's why.
I much prefer Python over PHP.
But that's what happens when you have Comcast and you get disconnected. Okay, so let's see. Why are algorithms so hard? Because you need to do computer science. Candace, it doesn't matter. There's not really like a super strict... I mean, there's a little bit of a background check going on, but you're not wasting your time. As long as you're upfront about it. Yeah, you disconnected. Welcome back.
Again, I'm sorry about that.
Go all in then. You can do it. can't connect your database in Laravel, I mean, you just Stack Overflow it.
Yeah. Should you focus on being a full stack or being great at a single thing? Sam, as a noob, dig as deep as you can when you're getting into something, but consistently try to get a good foundation. Because when you're at the beginning stages, you need breadth. The depth will come, but you have to understand it well enough to do it well. So, mostly breadth. As you get more advanced, start to focus. That's my opinion. I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
I think the more languages you learn, the better understanding you have of a loop is a loop in any language, right? So the more you learn in general concepts, the only thing that's different is the syntax.
So I would agree with that. So not that broad. Like maybe stick to a language or 2 languages.
I don't learn 10. Learn maybe 2 or 3 at max.
Especially when you're just starting out. But try to get a lot of concepts within those languages. You know, like if you're learning JavaScript, learn the difference between object-oriented and functional programming and do both of them in JavaScript. You know, learn about how to interact with the DOM. Don't just sit there and do algorithms in JavaScript, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Let me scroll up. Am I doing anything with the cloud? No. I think you are though, Katie. I don't actually know.
Am I doing anything with the cloud? Right now, I'm not. I did some AWS stuff at one of the clients that I previously worked with. We're talking about moving some of our stuff to the cloud, but everything we're deploying ourselves right now.
Yeah, I don't know. AWS seems like the go-to. It's like a server and a cloud, so might as well just use that. Let's see.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, dude, you're welcome for the feedback. Let's see. What degrees do I have? A mechanical engineering degree. It's called from SIMA University of Applied Sciences. It's sitting over there underneath a hammock that my girlfriend got me.
Yeah, I guess I could angle this up a bit. I have a degree in international studies. You can kind of see that. I had been accepted into a program for teaching ESL because I really like working with internationals. And then I got sick. That's when I started to learn to program because I had to go to the doctor a lot. And as I got better, I just stayed in coding. So, yeah, I am on a Mac. Yes, this is my old Mac that has normal USB, and my work Mac does not. And I opposed to it very much, changing the USB. So.
Thanks for your, let's see. Don't have enough courage to apply for a new job. Okay, so you just apply anyways. You don't need confidence to apply. Those are totally separate things. You just click the button. It doesn't take confidence to click a button. Just put your resume, update it, click the button. They say no, and no big deal. What do you do to stay focused while you work remote?
Oh, what do I do? So it depends on what I'm doing. There are some things that I don't need a ton of focus to do. Honestly, writing unit tests are kind of simple, and like doing style tweaking, so lots of CSS work. Those two, I don't have to be so focused, and I turn on a TV show, and then I do them on my other screen. But the rest of them, maybe I need music. Maybe I need to set time blocks for myself, and take a break when the time block is up, sort of like a Pomodoro thing. It really depends on what I am doing. Because sometimes I find it easy to focus and sometimes I don't. So
I take a break about middle of the day, and then I come back and work until I'm tired or until the work is done. But generally I can't focus for 8 straight hours, or most of the time not even 6 hours. Usually about 4 hours max, and there's still some distractions in there probably. But I don't know. If to get shit done, I will go into a room where there's nothing. I did just nothing but a room. That I'll leave my phone in my room and just do nothing. But for creativity never happens when I'm working. It always happens when I'm doing something else, like at the gym or out walking or putting groceries in my cart. There's a word for it, and it's called serendipity. And serendipitous moments is what it's called. Anyways.
Yeah. Josh is a big idea dude. He is always coming up with problems to solve, and I think I'm more oriented towards how to solve problems. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the problem? This is the problem, and we need to solve it. I'm not like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but I know that this is an issue, and we should discuss it. I feel like...
I'm not like that as much. It's funny. Anyways.
That's why we work together. Like, I feel like in a company, she would be like CTO, and I'd be like the CEO, be like, this is what we need to do. And she'd be like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. Type deal. Let's see.
We have solved some interesting problems that way. Yeah. We've got stuff about using a laptop at a coffee shop. Does it get distracting? Sometimes it's nice to get out for sanity, and then you can get that's like stopping a blocker, but I do find I'm not as focused with stuff around me. Do I use Jasmine for unit testing? I've used Mocha, and right now we're using Jest. I've never used Jasmine. I've used Chai and
Mocha. I've used Jasmine.
Jest Enzyme. Do you like Jasmine?
What's up, Steve? I've taught Jasmine before. Actually, that's part of the curriculum at the very end in Open Classrooms for the full stack path. It's Jasmine testing for a to-do app. It's okay. So that's like a custom written MVC, and then I have to walk them through how to test basically every view and every logic problem. Like, if all the boxes are checked and you click delete, they all delete rather than just one at a time. That sort of stuff. It's okay. Syntax is documentation sucks. It took me a while to figure out that you can't test with the data in the app. You have to make your own data. I think that's for any test case, really, but...
I think a lot of testing frameworks are very similar, though. You can get the job done with very similar syntax. So if you learn one, you've learned enough to do others. So, yeah. Schmampanese was asking about dealing with clients. Yeah. I've had jobs that do a lot with clients. Do you work with clients a lot, Josh?
We have a bunch of clients. Some of them will get bugs, and they'll give it to the sales guy since that's their only point of contact, and they'll give it to me, and then I'll end up emailing them directly. But it doesn't ever me to them. It always comes to me somehow. And they're like, make this work, or this isn't working. We want our money back. And everyone looks at me. I'm like, but I didn't promise features that weren't that aren't available.
Yeah. I think it depends on the client. I've had highly technical clients. Like at my previous job, we worked in the blockchain space, and some of them really wanted to know all the specifics of the application, and they asked things that really show whether we're doing our job, and it felt good to be able to check all the things off their list because they knew what they were talking about. We knew what we were talking about. But I've also worked with clients who they have no idea what they want or what they're asking for. I'm not really on the business side, so I'm usually filtered by those people. Just like Josh is saying, usually someone else comes to those people first. But yeah, I mean, do you talk to them in code or layman terms? You talk to them according to what they want to know. If they aren't technical, you start with layman, and then if they start asking deeper and deeper questions, you get more technical. And then you say, I'm getting technical here, so that they don't feel dumb if they zone out. So
I talk with them. I don't know. It depends on the person. Like there's usually a few different contacts at each customer, but it depends on the person. Like if I get the vibe that they're not going to know what I'm talking about and they just want a result, then I'll just be layman's. If the person comes to me, they're like, we want to use this framework with this, and I know that there's a plugin that our last guy used and it was called this, and then I'll jump up to that technical level. Just adapt. You can't just be one or the other in this line of work, especially if you're talking to clients. Especially if you're freelance and you only know how to do one mode of conversation. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, for sure. There's another one. You tend to rely on front-end frameworks like Bootstrap and Materialize. Are they really wanted by clients, or does vanilla CSS, is it the most preferable? So here, my personal stance is that those are good to know because you can churn out work quickly, especially if you don't have tons of custom styling, but you should know CSS when you have to override things. That's what I think. There have been times where, you know, a lot of projects I've worked on had pure vanilla. We use Sass just to make things sane, but we didn't use any other frameworks for CSS. And they were fine because we had so much custom stuff. It would have been annoying to use a CSS framework. Like currently, our job doesn't need a lot of custom styling, so we're using material components. And there have been a few times where I've had to do some serious overrides, and if I didn't know CSS well, it would be very annoying. So,
Hey, what's
what
good?
about you, Josh?
I think material UI. Anything material UI is like the bee's knees. What's up, Joe? What's up, dude? Just messaged you on Instagram, seeing how you doing. Hope you're doing all right. I saw your stream earlier today too. I didn't comment, but I was watching. Where did she learn to code? In the room that you're looking at? It's called being self-taught.
Yeah, I am self-taught. I went to school for something else, and then I taught myself. Learned on the job, did a lot of freelance projects for friends, then started to get, I don't know, real work. I met Josh while I was working at a government contracting job. So self-teaching is tough. I agree. You got to have a lot of persistence and patience with yourself and with the process.
Yeah. So coding phase. What's up, dude? You just hanging out, watching the stream? Self-teaching is tough. Oh, there was one question that you didn't answer. Is there any technology that you knew at one point but forgot?
I haven't worked with Python in a while, so I'm sure that I would be clumsy with it, but it sticks around and it's similar enough to what I use now. Most of the time I'm coding in Node. I have to write a tiny bit of PHP because we have a legacy system that we're supporting / translating into Node / JavaScript, obviously. And then also there's a C++ portion that I have to understand, but I rarely write. Yeah.
Yep. What language do you code in? That was a question.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly Node and JavaScript, sometimes PHP, sometimes C++.
What's up, Caesar?
Tiny bit.
The paradox of discipline is that it takes discipline to develop. I think to develop discipline, you have to tackle challenges that fit you. So like there's Let's see. So like if you have a match, right? You have a match on fire and you blow on it, it'll go out. But if you have a giant bonfire and you blow on it, it will heat up, right? So that's how you have to match the challenges that you attack in life. So pick something that fits. Let's see.
I also think you need to build a reward system into what you do. So you have to get excited about what you're doing, show them to people, give yourself a break, give yourself rewards, little things like, look what I finished, look what I learned. That'll help you build discipline because you're building in like a reward system for yourself. Someone asked, what books or websites do I use for learning? Most of the time when I'm learning things, I go directly to the documentation now because I've been coding a while. I did show this one for some UX because I'm not a UX person, but I have to do some UX sometimes. Steve Krug has some good stuff. I also have the JavaScript, the good parts is a good reference. I've read some eloquent JavaScript. Those are all books. I do watch lots of YouTube videos, talks that people give, but mostly I read documentation. Yeah. Or read blogs.
Python over Laravel. Can I answer your question? Happy, it's so far up. Can you type it again? Wait, have a question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people.
Let's see. There's no limit. Wondering what challenges you face while working and mastering that language. Most of the time it's just syntax stuff. And I wouldn't say it's more language related. I'd say it's more framework related. Syntax related is pretty easy to look up in documentation. Framework stuff can get a little tricky when you start combining frameworks with other frameworks. Like different front ends with different back end frameworks.
I think also sometimes you're presented with a challenge that has been solved before, but you don't know how to word it in a way to get to that. I think that's actually the biggest challenge for people is you don't know what to call your problem. You don't know what words to look up. So, yeah, kind of just have to read around your problem to get to what you really need.
How many jobs have I had? A lot. Let me give you, let's see. Part-time job, full-time PHP job, React job, some freelance jobs, and now this job, and then teaching. However many that is. I wasn't counting. Shit. Like 6?
Yeah. I've had a bunch of freelance jobs, a couple contract jobs. One of them I had a full-time contract, or like I was working full-time for a contractor, and then I worked for a blockchain agency, and not this one. So a bunch. Happy Turtles question. We have to read it, Josh.
We did. I just answered it, talking about the difficulties.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Treehouse for Learning? I know it's really popular. I haven't actually checked it out. I just know they have like an $8 membership or something, and then like you can. Actually, no. That's Free Code Camp. Yeah, I don't really know a lot. I should dive into that. I want to do a lot more reviews on different resources that are free but offer paid options, like not Udacity because those are like $800 courses, but like Coding School or Codecademy's like premium stuff. I want to like message them and see if they'll give me like a free account so I can review it and post it for people. So that way I could answer these questions way better.
Yeah, I haven't used a lot of Treehouse either. Sorry guys, I'm reading and answering questions. So I can't answer that well either.
Let's Premiere Pro. You edit on a Mac or Windows, Joe? Let's see. Oh yeah, Udacity does have some free stuff, but like they're cool. Like I want to learn about like the flying automation stuff. Do I own my own place solo or dolo? I have my own house, and she has her own apartment. Yeah, we should. Oh, she disconnected again. All right, guys, just me. I'll answer. Is it possible to have a secular part-time job in software engineering? What do you mean secular part-time job? Can you expand on that? How did I grow my YouTube audience? A lot of people helped me out. I asked for help from people. Some people didn't answer. Some people did. Joe helped me out. Aaron and Beta helped me out. Joe Coding Face helped me out. Chris Sean helped me out. A lot of people.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, we were like, oh, the internet's so smooth and great today. Can you fix it?
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Let's see. What to start learning once you know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I would say pick up jQuery just so that you can understand how you can run simple event listeners, and then pick up React. That's my 2 cents.
You have a website? I don't know about you. You sound cool.
I'll explain. Joe. Don't worry. Let's see. Does she have Comcast? Yeah, she has Comcast, but she's in an apartment complex. So the apartment complex is that her Wi-Fi is 2.4 gigahertz, which is probably what the entire apartment complex is on. So this happens.
Sam knows that I'm also a robot. So that's
You're basically like the Zuck. Hey Josh. Hey Austin.
I am the Zuck in female form, except more poor.
You're missing a few billion, just a few.
Just a few billion.
Just a few billion.
That's why I'm in an apartment.
Yep, we tried to switch to 5G, but we couldn't figure out how to do it on the router. How did I grow my...
This game I've ever been a thought. Josh and I built a game together, and I hated using Unity, but we used Unity. Josh likes Unity, and I was a baby about it because I was just like, I just want to code.
You did okay. You actually made some levels.
I did make some levels, and I helped with a few things. I wrote the program that like turns the planets.
What are the bare minimums to get hired as a junior dev? You can answer that again.
We did have this question earlier. It depends on the company, but you should a junior dev. You have to know the basics of their stack. So if you are going as a junior web developer, you have to know all the fundamentals of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If you're going for like a data science job, you have to know like the basics of whatever language R, or maybe they're using Reason or something. I don't know. Blockchain, you want to be a Solidity dev, you should know a little bit, probably a different language because Solidity is insane. I don't know.
You're also not a lizard. What games do you play in your free time?
Oh,
Stardew.
I don't play regularly, but like we have a Switch. I play uh, Breath of the Wild sometimes.
What about Stardew?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I get a dumb indie game and like plant a farm
We
for
also played
for
Torchlight
fun.
together too.
That's true. We also played Torchlight. We also played Terraria.
Yep.
I kind of just try games for a season. I'm a filthy casual.
Uh, PUBG got old. I got PUBG. Squad is good. What website do you visit to stay current? I don't know. Maybe Egghead.io. That's a pretty good one.
That one is good.
This is, well, let's see. RimWorld is your new addiction. This is what I got right now on the phone. It's so good. It's actually not bad. Actually, normally I play it on the big screen on the iPad, but it's fun. Or I'll play Overwatch. Yesterday I played Human Fall Flat for a while because it's so dumb it's funny. Do you guys have projects for passive income that are doing kind of okay? Passive income. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's passive because I teach for like a second income. Passive? Actually, yeah, I do. I have some passive income. It's not very much though. It's like $100, something like that.
Yeah, I'm working on it, but I don't have anything right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it does have a lot of bots. But it's fun if you get up like in the higher ranked stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I don't push myself to play games. Usually it's like 11:30 at night. It's either like, do I go watch a show and eat food or play a game? And sometimes I'll just play a game and go to sleep, or I'll just listen to a book. Let's see. I think it'd be cool to start a gaming channel eventually when I have time to like stream, because I know people like to stream, but I also like the hustle, but you know, everyone wants the Twitch stream at some point. Let's see.
So Josh asked if someone would be hired straight out of high school at 18. If you have projects to show for yourself, because when you're 18, you need to know you're coming in without knowing how companies work usually. Like you've got to learn junior stuff that you would learn at other jobs probably, or maybe in college, how to work on a team, how to build things with people, how to work on a deadline, how to communicate, how to not take criticism personally. So you have to have enough projects under your belt to make up for the fact that they're going to expect that you'll need more help with the soft skills. So.
See you later, Joe. Have fun. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know
Yeah,
it's
coding.
late for
You
you.
can tell me about coding phase, Joe.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
Wow, I was harsh on the free time.
7-year-old get a chance at a junior dev job? I don't know.
I think that you could. You'd probably get part-time though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It really depends on the company.
If you like know
What
the
do you
guy.
need to know in terms of React to be hired as a junior dev? For React?
Let me tell you about the component lifecycle first.
Yeah, just know the basic life cycle.
Oh God.
Just build a few React projects. That's it. You're a junior, you know the basics.
Learn about state and props. That's it. You're good.
Context is new. Don't worry about it yet.
Yeah. Let's see. Degree or self-taught?
Yeah, that's right. Age doesn't matter if it does. You're interviewing at the wrong company.
Age does matter because look at my dad. No one will hire him because they see, like, if the date is on his resume, they won't even look at him because they'll see that he graduated in, like, 81, right? And then they'll be like, oh, this guy's old. So I take the dates off.
Ageism is real. Yeah.
It's pretty dumb. Pretty annoying. But in software, it's usually a younger crowd because people older have a tough time grasping it unless they've been doing it. How did I grow my audience on YouTube? I said, like, some people... I mean, I just kept making videos, basically. I just kept posting regardless without any expectations. I mean, I had goals and dreams, but I just keep posting. Older here and still 100% all tech. Yeah, I mean, there's exceptions. Like, the people who work at the crypto place that I do videos for, there's one guy that's been doing it since he was, like, I don't know. He's really young. He showed me like his punch cards that he was programming on. And I was like, well, that's cool. And so
That's awesome.
he was charging like $80 an hour in like 1970 something to do simple accountant. Like it takes your numbers and returns it with tax added automatically. And I was just like, okay, imagine doing that now. Oh my gosh.
The ageism in tech is horrible. I've read a lot of things about it, but to be honest, I've never worked with people who are older in tech, which I think is a statement in itself. Yeah. I'll just
See you later, Shadow.
Do you think people are interested in web dev because it's sexy?
What does that mean?
It is super sexy.
There's a website, javascript.sexy.
When I think about JavaScript, no. I think everybody needs web dev. Really. That's why it's popular. Everybody uses the web. Everybody. Like not everybody can have nice big machines that can run complicated algorithms, but you could have a super awesome server somewhere that runs your complicated algorithm and a tiny little front end that runs on a mobile phone. And then people can access it through their phone. Be exciting.
I think one of the main problems with the age thing is that there's a lot of young, kind of hungrier people that are willing to do a lot more for less versus older people that have established families and a lifestyle with a set living income that they need to survive and pay their mortgage. So they're more willing to just hire some sponge with no opinion pretty much that just wants to get into the industry. I just wanted to expand on that, just popped in my head. How do I realistically charge for a website hourly? I am a more upfront cost. That way it benefits them and me that if I finish it under time, like they give me a week and I do it in a day, hey, I just made $500 in a day. If I go over, it doesn't affect their budget. And it's on me.
I don't usually make like small mom and pop sites anymore. But when I did, I would also charge based on like feature list, not hourly.
I think hourly can get, I don't know, you could burn some bridges with trust issues and stuff. Like people think you're overcharged. There's no way this took you 3 hours to do this one thing. Like, okay, well, we'll just do flat rate. And let's talk about what your budget is up front. Let's see. There's a baby in the background. That is my dog. He's just chilling. Let's see. It's Odin Project. Odin Project is good, but it uses Rails as a base for the back end. Let's see.
So many comments, you guys.
Recently started coding.
I know how to do algorithms in an interview on the spot, but I have 4 React projects. Josh has his, he could go on a rant about people putting you on the spot with algorithmic questions. My preference is to send people home with a coding challenge and then talk to them about what they did. That's my preference.
They want to see your dogs.
They want to see my dogs?
Yeah. You gotta turn the camera off and then go get Weasley and then come back.
Yeah. Are we wrapping up soon? I'll grab him at the end.
Okay. Yeah, maybe like 10 more minutes or something. Is it hard for you to implement carousel from? No, there's like a Bootstrap class for that. Carousel, Bootstrap Carousel.
React Carousel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you want,
you know how to do it in Bootstrap. Bootstrap is cool now. Bootstrap 4 is built with Flexbox in it. I know, but Bootstrap is so opinionated. I don't like it.
Let me turn her up. Now she's gonna be loud AF. Forewarning. Oh, we had 99 people. This is a new high. Wow, I wish I had like a supporter option sometimes. I don't know who would support. I try to give some like valuable content, right? But I wish I could do this full time. Greetings from Poland. Hello.
It's only going to take a little bit of time, Josh. Eventually you'll get there.
I have to do YouTube full time. That's the dream. So I can just make classes and like tutor people and like let's see.
See, I don't want to do YouTube full time. I like making things. At least not yet. I used to live stream all the time back when I was learning, so I thought about it. That's Josh's dream.
The dream is to be self-employed by the end of the year, so that I can just make content for people and help. But it's hard to do in like 9 jobs. How do you negotiate an offer?
That one's hard.
This is what you go ahead.
You go in. You know what the job title is worth in your region. So you go in having Googled the average pay for that job title, and then you negotiate it up, or hopefully not down, based on your performance that year. So you have all this evidence of things you've done well, and you know how you saved this project, how many hours you worked, blah blah blah, how dedicated you are, and you use that as a baseline. The baseline is what's the average in your city.
Yeah, just send it to my email, Nick. Let's see. Do you have a PayPal or something? Really amazing content. Sure. If you would like to blow up that.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's see. Yeah, just send it to my email. My email's here.
Captain, if they don't negotiate offers,
I
you're
don't know.
probably applying for the wrong place.
Listen, dude, you got to be willing to walk at any moment, right? Because it's not just like you're a good fit for them. Like, do you want to work for them? You got to think about. I know it's hard to have that presence of mind to, when you see the salary number and to see everything, and then to realize like, yeah, this isn't a good fit, you know. But you have to be able to do that, or you're just gonna regret it and get yourself in a hole, and then it's not gonna look good. Let's see. What's the average raise I've gotten on average? I went from 65 to 75, whatever that is.
The biggest raise I got was from 75 to 95, but it was because they gave me a large amount of responsibility.
Katie's basically, she's like a drug lord of web dev. She just has stacks of cash hidden in her walls, you know?
Yeah, it's not going towards my student loans. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
sure.
like the
Ozarks.
The
homeowner is clearly suffering over there with his home, and I'm paying rent. And
I'm in Salt Lake City, and she is in Denver.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn into Kurt Cobain. What?
Apparently someone was like, you're going to go crazy on YouTube. So apparently Kurt Cobain went crazy on YouTube because he totally was around.
I'm indifferent to like haters. I get a lot of hater comments. They're actually pretty funny. One guy said I look like a major douchebag because I had a cut shirt. I don't know. It's really cool to see what people think about you because of your appearance. And I think I'm sometimes pretty judgmental. Katie makes buku's amounts, okay? That's all you need to know.
It's not buku's. It's pretty standard for my experience in Denver.
It's buku's.
I'll just say that.
You make so much money. Let's see.
I don't know.
It just doesn't feel like it because of living expenses. But
maybe.
Yeah.
I definitely made more than I expected to make at this point in my career, but it was just consistent raises for performance and things. How many years have I been working? I think since 2014. So a little over 4 years.
People are talking about overdressing. Yeah, so but I overdressed super when I went to the job I have now. I overdressed, and like I walked in and the boss, like Jenny, I don't know if you've seen the video with her, but basically she wears like torn jeans and stuff, and like she had pink hair that day. And then I was like, oh, well, obviously this culture fit thing that you guys are about to check is going to be real awkward because this isn't how I dress normally. But do I say that? Like, yeah. Well, I do a co-stream with Chris. Yeah, I've messaged him a bunch. He's just super busy. He's doing stuff like all day, 9 to 5, and then he does like more stuff at night. What else? I majored in mechanical engineering. How much math did I use during my career? I used Excel math. I wrote Excel formulas. I did not use calculus. I did not use diffeq, differential equations. I didn't use any of that stuff. I used statistics and basic trigonometry. The rest I just plug into SolidWorks, and it did what I wanted.
I think there's a lot of like logic in programming that's helpful if you have a background in math. Like I have a friend who got his master's in math, and he can come up with solutions to things that are just very different than how I would approach it, but they're very effective, of course, because it's from a mathematics perspective. But yeah, it's mostly about logic when you're dealing with programming, less so like math concepts, I guess.
How many hours
is that, Josh?
Yeah, it's not too math. Like theoretical math is not that applied in this industry unless you're in the blockchain. Then it's all math. Do remote jobs pay based on what the salaries are in the area? No. So that's why you need to get a remote job in San Francisco and live in like Nebraska. Yeah.
Yeah, my remote job is near Denver, and they really
100
wanted
people.
me because I've worked with the CTO before, and so I was like, I can't leave for less than this amount from my current job. So I was in a good position for that, the last move that I made. It was a small increase. A lot of people say a 10% increase. It was slightly under 10% for me, but
I'm trending.
yeah. Okay. You're trending.
Whatever that means. Real talk, how stereotypical nerd are most development companies with poor social skills? There's actually a lot. There's one dude that recently got the ban hammer from the company, so to speak. Basically because he literally just got up and walked out every time people would give him multiple tasks at once. One person would be like, "Hey, did you do the build today?" And another person's like, "Hey, I'm having a problem with the SQL server, whatever, blah blah blah." And he just like, "That's it, I'm done. I'm walking." And he just left for like 2 hours. And he'd do that a lot before he got fired, until someone was like, "All right, we've had enough." There's a lot of I don't want to say it, but I'm just gonna neckbeards. Okay, there's a lot of neckbeards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you get those kind of people. They don't end up going that far. They don't know how to talk to clients. They barely can work with their team. It's usually problematic because you always run into problems with them. I've worked with those kind of guys. So
You have to be, I don't know, like he was the type of guy that I tried to be really good friends with in case he ever lost his last marble and decided to come back in. You know what I mean? So I was like, I always wanted to be on his do not hit list.
Do not hit.
Let's see. Yeah, that's the last straw. Then he leaves. He'd do that a lot. Pay can vary. I have a question. This is a question. I don't want to be a shill, but if I made a Patreon, would people support if I just keep trying to make helpful content? I've thought about it, but I feel like it makes me seem like a sellout. But I don't know. I wanted your guys' opinion on it. I think I could make some pretty cool tiers or like one-on-ones or something. I don't know.
And while you guys answer that, we've got one more question. Any advice on the percentage of learning versus doing? And how much should I learn versus doing in practice? I think learning is doing. Doing is learning. Read enough so you can start doing. Then go back and read when you get stuck.
Don't get stuck.
Keep going.
Don't get stuck on the book train. Oh, so many people are like, I bought 3 books. No, throw those books away and just open a code editor. Type some stuff. Break some stuff.
Start doing things. Then when you get stuck, go read. Then when you're unstuck, try it. So how do I manage to work on my side project using a different language than the one we use at work? Is it advisable to work with different languages? Yeah, you can work on your side project even if it's in a different language. There's going to be some context switching, which is annoying.
Guys, hit up that Discord, por favor.
One of the reasons why I don't work at an agency anymore because of all the context switching. It's just very emotionally draining, I think. But you could do multiple languages, and if they use any of the same concepts, you're just going to get better at them. So.
How do I do? I don't know how to mention the Patreon. I'll just be like, all right, guys, I have a Patreon. Contribute if you want. I'm not a salesman. Okay, so let me take that back. I can be, but I don't want to be the guy that's like, this is what you need. No, I'm more of the guy that's like, hey, this is this cool thing. You should check it out. If you want to, do that. Because I hate when people pressure me to do stuff. It's the most annoying shit in the world. So, anyways. That's why I'm so careful when I proposition people for money. So, whatever.
Josh's dream is really to do this full time. I would like this as like a side thing. I've been thinking about making some videos. One in particular, I want to talk about like the history of JavaScript and why it's so weird and what is ES6 and blah blah blah. Anyways, yeah, I don't think
I have to convince her.
I'm not as dedicated as Josh. Josh is like live, breathe. I gotta do my own self stuff. I am not describing it very well.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. If I could just like If I could do this full time, I would have some amazing backdrops. I tell you that right now. There would be a lot more than a whiteboard in this TV. Can we get something good from the Solo Learn app? Isn't that... Pretty sure I'll make it full time. I hope so. Let's see.
Captain Splash, what do you do when you have someone under you who doesn't feel like they have the skills they need to perform their job? Hopefully, it depends. I'm not going to see them any more negatively if they've come to me first.
I have a green screen.
And hopefully it's coming from like, I got stuck here. If it's just like a confidence issue, also, I just would encourage them, like, you're doing great. I'm very much about feedback. People who are working under me, their code reviews, everything's about let's all improve together. I'm going to encourage other people to also do code reviews, even if they're for their like peers or whatever, even people above them.
What are we CXing? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. I'm messaging the Chris Sean at the moment on my phone. If you guys want me to send him a message, tell me.
So they want us to check Discord?
How much do I think in code? Not that much. I have a green screen. I could do that.
I don't see anything in Discord.
Well, I think people. Well, I just keep linking the Discord. Chris Sean. I just keep linking it for the 100 days of code. Getting rated. That's always a good thing. I'll take that. I don't know.
Oh. Well, welcome, CX people. I don't know
what is
that
happening.
Means.
CX. We got 100 people. What is going on? How many followers do I have?
On Instagram?
Maybe like 400. How is this a raid? There's like 2 people spamming. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
It can't be a raid with 2 people.
The bad raid, not the good one. Oh.
Guys, please.
Also, someone asked about my Twitter. My Twitter is inkblotty. You can find me there. I have a GitHub under the same name. Ban them.
Yeah, you're an admin. Just go ahead and do it. It's fine.
Someone else ban them.
It's fine. Here we go. Oh, maybe there's some XX Phantom gay. I remember when I used to put double letters in front of my gamer tags. Those were the days. Here we go.
Yeah, that was back when I was super cool.
Nah, they're hidden now. They can't do anything. Why, John Doe? I don't understand. Okay.
Time out. All right, we got derailed, guys. I don't even remember what we were discussing.
Yeah. That's we're getting spammed. New to programming. Think that web development someday. Could you guys just provide some advice on language? So you need to start with HTML, CSS first so that you can learn the skeleton of how a web page looks. And then when you want to do things on that page, you need to learn JavaScript.
You need to recognize that programming for the web can be very different than programming in general, because the DOM, which is every browser uses the DOM, document object model.
Bro, there's 100 people here. No,
very
keep going.
Weird thing.
Hold on. I'm getting my bro. This is
Oh, is it dog time? Should I go get Weasel?
Yeah, go get your dog. And we'll just chill with doggos. Yeah, we've been patient.
Right
Weasel. His name is Weasley. And then Bianca.
Weasley.
And then this is my
Bianca
dude.
is shy. I'll be right back with Weasley.
Let's see. Bro, why don't you want to be on film? There you go. Alright. This is a half Eskimo and then half Husky. So he's not feeling too great today. He's a big, giant pile of fluff. Do I think dummy websites will help improve your skills? Absolutely. You'll learn responsiveness. Are you both self-taught? I went to Dev Mountain, and she is self-taught. 100% lapdog. Now, he's actually frozen up right now. And a dog appears. A wild dog appears.
Aww. He's a sweetie boy.
Yeah.
He was napping, so he's mad at me. He's, hi, thank you. His name is Weasley. He's an old man. He's 8 years old.
That sailor guy. Very informative. I'm happy that you think it's informative, because when I'm filming them, I sometimes think what I'm talking about has no value. And why am I doing this? People say web developers don't have hearts. No, they just homebrew. That's all they talk about. You see what he did? You see
That's
this?
why I'm a robot.
You see what he does though when you touch him? He's a hair magnet, or I'm a hair magnet. I can't wear anything dark colored and touch him. Good thing I'm not going out. Let's see. More people.
Is his name from Harry Potter? Yes, we think so. The shelter named him, and we loved him so much that we kept the name. What are you sniffing?
I don't drink.
Oh, thank you.
I don't drink pre-workout. I mean, I don't drink coffee. I drink pre-workout in the morning. Maybe that's a little intense. Because I usually go to the gym right after when I wake up. So, adopt, don't shop. Yeah, both of those pups are adopted. Can you believe him?
Yeah.
This dude back here was in a shelter. Who would give him up? Someone just left him in the backyard for his whole life, and he didn't know anything. Like, he doesn't know how to interact with other dogs. He like pounces on stuff like a cat. I don't know what happened with him. Let's see.
Weasley was in a shelter too. He had some issues just with like confidence, but he was really a sweetie. So our other dog Bianca is like, she has anxiety. She legit gets freaked out about a lot, and she just poops sometimes when she's scared. But she's getting a lot braver. The other day she walked out of the door and down to a patch of grass without her leash. We were shocked and upset, but she was just like, I'm going to take myself on a walk. So, anyway.
Let's see. Is the stream choppy sometimes for her, sometimes for me? I have Comcast also. For the Lambda School question, Diego, does it apply worldwide? They go on a case-by-case basis, so absolutely I would apply, and then just talk to them about, they have to check the income and, like, income repayment plan, all that stuff. Intermittent fast, I used to do that when I'm not doing keto. Right now I'm doing keto, and I want to die. I have dreams about cakes and cookies and pizza, but I'm losing a lot of fat. What's my take on PWAs? I'm not sure what that means.
What's your take on progressive web apps?
Oh, that.
Progressive web apps. Yeah, instead of native apps.
This is why she makes big bucks.
Awesome. We're in the unfortunate position at my current company that they have an existing native app that is horrible. And so we have to replace it because the clients are already depending on that terrible application. But I think progressive web apps are the future. More and more we see with service workers being common web workers. There's no reason why you wouldn't just build it into your website. People don't like downloading 6,000 apps. They don't. So. And Josh, you're just talking about lava cakes. And
dude,
things.
I had a dream that I accidentally ate a slice of cake last night, and then I woke up and I was like, oh wait, is this a dream? Oh, it's bad. So, advice for someone with CS degree wanting to get into web development. This is what I would say while she is currently a robot and frozen. I would say, one summer, go to a code bootcamp, and then you double up. If you're between the options, drop out and continue, I would take the option that is do a code bootcamp during summer. Welcome back. What's Katie's Twitter? Do you want to share your Twitter, Katie?
Inkbloody. Connect, please. Connect. Thank you. That's my Twitter. My GitHub is the same name. I used to stream under the name Inkbloody forever ago. Can you suggest an API that scans a QR code for free? I'm currently using ScanDit. It scans the QR code, or does it create one on a canvas for you?
I don't know.
I have just used mobile phones like that scan QR codes. I don't think I've had to do what you're asking.
I haven't had to do that either. How old is Katie? She's actually 19.
No, I'm not. Do you see? I have a little bit of gray. Sometimes you can see the hairs.
She's the same age as me. Do I do gaming? Sometimes. She does sometimes. Fetch API or Axios? Axios all day. What's up, dude?
Axios is sweet. Fetch is all right. Axios is awesome. Why Inkbloody? I don't know. Because I do like to draw.
So that was your next question.
Do you guys do gaming? Kind of.
We sometimes play Torchlight.
We're in our late 20s. You're about to finish a boot camp. You're trying to practice algorithms. Have you interviewed people for jobs? Yes, multiple jobs. I was one of the main interviewers. You did what got them hired. Was it mostly answering algorithms correctly? Most of the time, I would bring somebody in, make sure that they were a decent person, or usually like the HR person would do that. Then they would be given a coding test. Then would be the round where I would sit in with them and talk to them about their coding test. So I would review their code on my own and then ask them, what happened here? Why would you do it? Why did you do it this way? Would you do it differently? What happened here? Blah, blah, blah. Usually I got a sense for what they actually knew and the things that they faced. Sometimes people totally bombed because they tried to do too much. And sometimes people totally bombed because they clearly didn't know what they were using and they just copied somebody else's code. But yeah. And other than that, they just have to fit the team.
Let's see. Bootcamp.
Did you have to do a whiteboard test? Oh, sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have had jobs where I went up to a whiteboard with a solution to something that they asked me, but I've never done like a traditional whiteboard test. Look at the samples I've given or my stuff on GitHub and they know, or they give me a challenge and I'll complete the challenge. What types of coding challenges would I give? Josh, I keep interrupting you. You just go.
All right. Do I think coding bootcamp is better for a beginner or just spend some time learning? All right. The problem is if you go the Udemy route, you're going to end up being that guy that buys 16 classes when they're on sale for $2 each, and then you're going to have 3% done in each of them because you're going to be like, well, that was kind of fun. Let's see what this one is. Well, that was kind of good. See what this one is. And then you're going to realize that you haven't learned enough to make any progress, and you're going to be like, well, this is dumb. It's not for me. So bootcamp is usually better for that unless you have the discipline to buy one thing, stick it through all the way, even when it gets hard, and just keep going. Then go self-taught. If you have discipline, be self-taught. If you don't,
I'm self-taught.
Then
it takes time.
Go to a bootcamp.
Yeah, it's a shorter timeline to get up to speed, but there are some skills that you learn being self-taught because you have to just be super resilient that you end up better off in some ways than bootcamp people, but there's going to be missing pieces to your education.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What's the future of mobile apps? Do you think native apps will die? I think we're going to see more people move to progressive web apps. So, yeah.
Is a college degree important? Yeah, I mean, it's important. All right, this is what a college degree is. I'm going to define it for you. It is a commitment to a difficult task for a long amount of time, and that can show an employer that you've committed to something relatively hard for a long amount of time. And it's just a nice little checkbox, but it doesn't make or break you. Some countries care depending on the cost of your education. Like in Finland, education is free, so if you want to be a cashier, you better have a bachelor's degree in being a cashier, because there's no reason not to have one. Let's see. Can you use Google for a coding test? It's a double-edged sword. It either makes you look like you don't know what you're doing or resourceful. So be careful. Try and feel them out. Ask if it's okay.
Do you need to know Redux to be hired as reactive? You should at least know what Redux is for. But I don't think so, personally. You should know why you need a state management system outside of React's state management system. Unless you're a junior, then you don't.
How many people do you interview for one position? Depends on how many resumes you get that match and how many people that you think can communicate like humans, at least for me. Depending on if I just need someone to get the job done, maybe I'll look less into that. And I know it's like a temporary thing, so I don't have to work with them forever. But if they're going to come on like salary, they're going to be there with me, sitting next to me, like, bro, you better be cool, because I don't want some creepers. Should you go to boot camp, even if you're going to college for computer science? I would say you could add it in there in a summer. That'd be cool.
I feel like you could do that, or because you probably know the basics of like object-oriented versus functional programming and basic algorithms and that kind of thing, that you could use free resources and build a lot of stuff.
It's the thing that you get with like a code
that's
boot camp.
That's what Taylor did. Well, but that's what Taylor did, right? He got his computer science degree, and
yeah, but he hustled. Anyway. So the thing
of course he hustled.
With like the boot camp thing is, right, like you're gonna go to school for 4 years, get a computer science degree, and then some guy's going to go to boot camp for 3 months and get a job right after, and then he's going to start making 50,000. The guy that's still in computer science is going to graduate and get a job making 50,000. Well, that's, you know, almost 3.5 years this other guy's already been working while you've been in classes. Now he's making 95,000, and you're still trying to get a job in the door, like get your foot in there making 50. So obviously, like your ceiling potential is higher with a computer science degree because you have those fundamental concepts. But the initial, like if you just want to get in the industry, it seems fairly straightforward to me.
Yeah, it's hard to break into the industry without any formal education. But yeah, it's unlikely that somebody like me who is self-taught would end up as like a C level as fast as a friend of mine, like Taylor, who
yeah, no, we made the video on him.
Is a CTO.
Yeah, Taylor, the guy we keep referencing, he's a CTO of the company now. He's 25 years old, and his company was like, "Holy shit, you really know your stuff." But at the same time, they were like, "How do we tell our customers the CTO is 25 years old?" And so like
they just don't. They just do normal stuff. Are we wrapping up soon, Josh? There's some good questions here.
We got 6 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I've missed a good question.
Hey guys, go say that.
What's up, Alan?
Oh, is it how do you, front-end devs are in such a demand? How do you guys stay humbled and not douchey? Remember that your value has nothing to do with your performance. Who you are is, and what you give to the world, how you interact with people, whether you're creating that positive, that's more important than how you perform in your job. There's a lot of douchey people in this career path. You're going to meet a lot of egos because it pays well and there's a lot of prestige.
I just let the dickbags have their moment, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are like high up on their horse, and I'm just like, that's cool, man. I'm gonna go live life while you figure out, you know, what the most important language is. So let's see. What was your answer if an employer asks you, what is your expected salary? I don't say that. I ask what the budget is for the position first, and then I say the salary that is on Glassdoor, pretty much. I mean, obviously look in your area, but let's see.
I say like 10K higher than I'm currently making to excuse my move. Like I can't leave my current job where I'm established without a reason.
Right. Let's see. Oh yeah. So tomorrow night we got the CEO of Pyrofx. He was like a big blockchain. Well, he's the blockchain CEO. And he worked at Google for a few years. He worked at Oracle. He worked at a bunch of other high-profile places. We're going to do a stream tomorrow night, 7 o'clock MST. So if you guys want to see,
we're also going to do more of those mock interview, and resume review type videos in the future. Someone asked that. I couldn't find it.
I'm still doing resume review videos. They just take a while for me to edit the blurred part that you see when I scroll up and down. So what I need to do instead is black out everything ahead of time. That way I don't have so much editing up front or at the back end of that. Do I give them a salary range? Yeah, I'll give them a salary range based on what the Glassdoor says for that company, with a slight increase. I always give over what I want. Every single time I give over what I want, because they're going to lowball you anyways. If you give them what you want, they're going to lowball you.
Yep.
And so this is what you need to do. This is how you get a salary right here. I was making a course about this actually right now on the Teachable. So if you want to go join the Teachable. The link is in the description. But I'm making a bunch of courses. This is how you get a salary. You basically say you need a specific number. Like you start at a 90% higher than what you want, and you fall back.
90%.
Listen, you fall back twice, really fast, right? Because they're just gonna be like, really, and you'll be like, all right. Actually, I was just, and then you give something within like the 40% higher, and then you come down to 10% higher, and they're still gonna lowball you. And you give them an exact number. You're like, look, I need $71,254 to make this work. And they're going to give you like, what?
So my computer is literally running out of battery. So I think we should wrap things up, Josh.
All right, we got 2 minutes. You can bounce if you want. I'll be here for 2 minutes. It's all good.
Okay. I mean, I think my computer can last 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Do I dream about joining a big company?
Aaron, what's up?
I like small companies. Hi, bye, Josh.
Hi, Aaron. We got a stream.
I prefer smaller companies, so that's just my preference. I would love to do my own thing someday, but
no, you will, because I will be the CEO of that company where you're doing something.
There are days where I've worked for someone and I see how they're treating their employees, and I'm just like, I just want to run a company so that my employees can feel like they're contributing to something worthwhile and value them. And I get on like a high horse and I get pissed, and yeah, I don't know. What are my hours? I work for a small livestock company here in Colorado called Pig Nose.
All right. Well, I guess she will. Okay, so...
And, yeah, my hours vary, but I work from home.
Let's see. How much does a 3 month boot camp usually cost? These days, around $10,000 to $12,000. How's the work-life balance? Yeah, she has a decent work-life balance, but she's a really dedicated developer, and so sometimes that suffers. And I have to help her understand that she has to enjoy life.
Sometimes.
Would I recommend putting in progress projects? Yeah, I would say put in progress projects if they're like 80% plus. Don't put like you made a repo. Check out my project.
So my last question. I'm not gonna look at any more questions. If it's remote, can I travel around the world and work? In my situation, I have to tune in to one meeting a day for 15 minutes at 8:45 a.m. and that might not work so well around the world. There are other jobs that are just like they hand you things and then check in when it's done. That's not the kind of job I'm in. I have to be available for my team. So
yeah.
Anyway.
All right, dudes, we're out.
Not looking at anyone.
It's 9 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. Even if it was so briefly, if you just joined, thank you so much. We're having 100 Days of Code tomorrow, starting at 6 a.m. I'm also having Nash Foster. He's a Google engineer. He'll be here. He's going to hijack the stream. So I'm pretty sure I'll just be sitting here staring at the camera while he answers all your questions, since I'm just this guy. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, this was a great stream. Thank you so much.
See you guys.